All right.
Oh, my hair needs to grow back.
Okay.
Shut up. Hey, what's my mine? What's mine? Oh.
Adjectives. Get back into this.
Describe.
Wait, what?
So adjectives are fairly simple. They tell the kind of noun. So they give you some description on the nouns. So when I'm talking about a noun, I have to be able to identify the noun first. And then the adjective is going to give some description. So the mean boy. Boy is a noun. Mean is describing the type of boy. Busy Kokomo. So busy is describing how busy Kokomo is. Ball, pink is describing what color ball. Good thoughts, good is describing what kind of thoughts. So for those of you who struggle between good and well, good is an adjective, well is always an adverb. So if you're talking about a thing, use good. So if you're talking about a thing, a person, place, thing, or idea, that is an adjective, if you're describing that. So when I say he is mean, mean is describing how he is. So mean is an adjective. Adjectives are fairly lazy. And then we're going to get to adverbs later, but adverbs are a little bit more difficult. So let's turn to the back side where we have verbs. So remember, verbs are actions or states of being. With states of being, there are only that short list. So am, is, was, were, be,
That states of
being, or been, yes. And now my cousin Ben.
Can I see the jaw?
My cousin Ben's good.
Mine is 2.
Fish.
So those are the state of being verbs. They still count as verbs. So I came up with a way for you guys to remember the verbs or identify the verbs. If you can't draw a picture of it, you can think to yourself, I need to show Mrs. Warner how to, and that's where you can replace with the verb and determine if it's a verb.
What
So-
is this? Am, is, what?
These are the to be verbs. State of being.
State of being verbs?
Mm-hmm.
Or are we on verb now?
Yeah, we're on verbs.
Are we able to?
Yes. Yep, these are for you guys.
Yes.
So we're on verb now, and am, is, are, was, were, be, being, or been.
Those are the state of being.
being.
Yes.
I
Justin?
got a question. We don't have nothing to do with this. Why do you know? Why do you call people doctors if you're not even like you know what I mean? Like
There's a medical doctor, and there's a PhD, and there's an EDD. So all of those things are under doctoral degrees. So doctoral degrees just have a general title, doctor. So I'm getting ready to go for my EDD. So I'll have an educational doctorate. There's a medical doctorate, and then there's a philosophical
so when you
doctorate.
get that, it'll be Dr. Warner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. So if I get hurt,
Don't, because I always tell my kids.
I just need to know. 'Cause that bothers me. I don't understand.
Yeah. Medical doctors are just a different type of doctoral degree.
I have a question. When we do our testing, can we listen to music when we do our testing? Because I get distracted. Right?
Most of the time, I try to get you guys in smaller groups to do
Even
the
if it's a smaller
testing.
group, it's like,
Most of the time, I will try to get you guys in smaller testing areas. Miss Paula will be working with a lot of you guys. And what I'll probably do with you guys, because you are a bigger class, is separate you into your groups and have one group taking the test while another group's doing something else and another group's doing something else. Typically on Thursdays, I like to have you guys doing very minimal work with me. And it's mostly like work you do on your own. So you guys are going to be reading a lot in this class. You're going to be taking some tests in this class. But you're also going to be working on the Read 180 program. So all of that is going to be...
I thought you said wait.
No. So you guys will be doing things more at your own pace. That way you can maintain that quiet environment and you can take as long as you need to.
Because I thought maybe if I had my earbuds in and
Yeah,
able to
that just
focus a little
becomes
better.
a bit of a distraction usually for everybody else. But I'll make sure you guys have small group testing areas. That was why I was a little later this morning because my son has to do that too.
Can I go take my test?
No, not yet. Not yet. We've got a little bit more time.
It might take me a long time to take it.
I don't think it will.
It ain't that long to the test.
What?
Okay, verbs. It's a diagnostic.
Oh.
So the verbs, again, the verbs, you can have action verbs and you can have state of being verbs. So you can be doing something or you can be something. Questions on verbs. So the next part of this are adverbs. Adverbs are busy and kind of annoying.
Yeah.
So what I want you to think of with adverbs, there are some questions that adverbs answer. So they answer, let me pop this up for you guys.
Do you want to do this one?
I don't want anything right now. Just hold on a minute, okay?
I was just going because this will do that one after.
Just give me just a second.
She's sitting very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Let me open this for you guys. Adverbs are the ones more students get confused with because there are so many of them. So adverbs answer a few questions.
How, when, where, what.
Oh, I see.
So adverbs answer how. So if I say, how did he run? Well, he ran quickly. How did he speak? He spoke softly. If I say, how did they roll? Loudly. It answers how. It can also answer when something happens. So if I say, I went to the store yesterday. Yesterday is an adverb. It can also answer where something happened. So if I say he went south, south is describing where he went. It also answers to what extent. So to what degree or to what level. So if I say he went rapidly, very quickly. Mm-hmm. And it can also answer why. Those are the questions that it answers, but adverbs are tasked with describing a verb. And this is where it gets more difficult. They also describe other adverbs. So if it's describing another adverb, I have to have a verb and an adverb. So if I say he ran
To the bus.
quickly, quickly is an adverb. Ran is a verb. So if I say very quickly, very is describing how quickly.
An adjective.
So it's an adverb. Yep. If I say the short boy. Short is describing the boy, so that's an adjective. Because it's describing a noun. Okay. So this adverb is describing another adverb. But it gets even more complicated. So if unfortunately, no. So if I say the very short boy, very is describing not the boy, how short. So that makes it an adverb. Because adverbs also describe adjectives. That's why I wanted to give you guys a break before you came back to this. So adverbs are very busy. They have a lot of jobs to do. So they can describe verbs, they can describe adverbs, or they can describe adjectives. So they have a lot of work to do. Adverbs often end in ly. So keep that in mind. Ly makes it an adverb. All right, we have a couple more to get through. So the next one on the list are conjunctions. Conjunctions just bring pieces together. That's all they do. I can start choo-choos right now.
Yeah.
So conjunctions just bring pieces together. There are fanboys. That's how you can remember the conjunctions. So the conjunctions are for,
and, more, but, or, yet, so.
Good. Whatever's going to help you remember. So these are all conjunctions. Justin?
I thought and was don't and make compound sentence.
Mm-hmm. It's a conjunction that brings two sentences
And
together.
shouldn't because be a conjunction too?
It is not. That makes it a complex sentence. So because it shows condition, so it doesn't bring two ideas that are by themselves together. It makes this idea because he was hungry. That doesn't make sense by itself. So it has to have the other component. So we're gonna talk about that because that's sentence structure. Because doesn't bring two pieces together. So if I say he and she went fishing, that works. And I went to the store but forgot milk. Those two ideas are very similar. We can't say I went to the store because I forgot milk.
Well, you can.
You can, but it's called a subordinate conjunction. So it shows a leveling instead of just two equal parts. It's a layer of complication that we're going to get to. Mm-hmm. It works. Okay. Fanboys. That's all we have to remember. Fanboys bring two pieces together. So for those of you who remember, conjunction, junction, what's your function?
No, that just
Hook it up, races and causes.
I'm gonna have to look at that video.
That's it.
No.
I usually
Stuck
play
in my
it.
head.
Oh.
Listen, guys. Listen up so that I can get through. So it just brings pieces together. And it shows some kind of relationship. So, or shows it's one or the other, not both. Nor, it's neither one. And it's both. So all of these show a different type of relationship. But what I want you to remember, these are the conjunctions. So I want you to remember.
So without that, a sentence would not make sense.
It would. It could. You don't have to have a conjunction, but that functions in a sentence. That's a piece that functions in a
We
sentence.
don't watch that.
Okay, never mind. I'll fit, never mind.
Okay. If you have a question, you've got good questions so far.
I don't know how to ask you though.
Okay.
What's happening?
So what's going on in your head?
Okay, so like the whole compound sense thing.
Mhm.
Okay, those when you use these, you gotta put commas after them and before them, right?
Before. If you have a complete sentence over here and a complete sentence over here, you put them together with a comma in front of it.
Okay.
Okay? And we're going to actually, we've got it a little bit longer for that, but we're going to get to that pretty soon. So you'll see how those things actually work together. Conjunctions we use all the time. All right.
And that makes two different parts of the sentence, right?
It can make two different parts of sentences. It just brings things together.
Okay.
Words, phrases, clauses. So if I say he and she, that's a conjunction. The and right there is a conjunction. Neither he nor she, nor is still a conjunction. But it can also bring together sentences, and that's what you're talking about. Okay? And we're going to get to that. So hold on to that. All right, the last thing that you guys have. This is the most complicated part. So prepositions are extremely busy, and there are tons of them, it feels like. So prepositions show a relationship between a subject and an object. We have to know about the sentence itself in order to understand the preposition. So let me get rid of some of this so we can have a little bit of space to work with for prepositions. So I can give you guys some examples on this. And hopefully you'll understand the idea, the concept. So if I say she went, does that make sense by itself?
No.
No.
It doesn't. So we need to add some stuff to it. So we add where she went. So I could say to the store. So without to the store, the rest of the sentence doesn't make sense. So she is the subject of our sentence. So it's the subject of the sentence. What part of speech is she? Look at your sheet. What part of speech is she? It's a person, so it's a noun, and specifically, it's a pronoun. Because it takes the place of a person's name. Good. Went. What is that?
Verb.
It is the part of speech is a verb. And in the sentence, remember in sentences we have subjects and predicates. Predicate's just the same thing as a verb. It's just a fancy name to mess us all up. So predicate and verb, same thing. So we have to understand that a preposition just shows a relationship between the subject and what we call the object of the sentence. So to is a preposition. The is what part of speech?
An article.
An article. Good. And store is what?
And now.
Show me how to store.
It's a noun.
It's a noun. In this instance, it is a noun.
There's the place,
Thanks.
so yeah, it's a noun.
Okay, so preposition is when like.
It shows a relationship.
Okay.
So if I say, Johnny Johnny jumped on the couch. Now, I could say Johnny jumped, and you think, okay, he jumped up and down. But he didn't jump up and down. So, my subject,
So that would be the preposition.
nope, not the. I'll show you in just, let's go from one side to the other. So, Johnny is my subject. Johnny is what kind of noun?
Proper.
Proper noun. Good. Jumped is, it's a verb.
What was the adverb?
Is it describing something?
And why?
What's it describing?
An action.
Okay, it's an action. So it's also called the predicate of the sentence. The is what part of speech? Article. Good.
So on.
Couch is, it's a noun. Good. And on is the preposition. It shows where he jumped.
Yep.
This shows where she went. There are 49 prepositions, so I'm not going to go over all 49 of the prepositions.
Well, that's what you meant by 49 over
Yes.
here.
Yes, there are 49. Do I have an exclamation mark there?
Yes.
Yeah, but 49 what?
Yes. So there are 49 prepositions. We're not going to go through all of them, but there are a lot of them. They just show a relationship. That's all they do. Okay. How are your brains doing right now?
My head hurts.
Firing up.
Okay. So you guys have worked really well today. So we are going to hold off on the active reading strategies for tomorrow, and we will focus on those tomorrow.
You're awesome.
I have an exit ticket for you guys. So on the sheet that you guys did your do now, remember your do now was identifying those things that you guys are now like,
Why didn't it go
now I
in-
know them.
I gotta find it.
Why didn't it go in?
I only missed 2 on
Classroom
here.
materials.
I got the
Good.
article in the,
And that's definitely why I need you guys to do that diagnostic, like soon. So I will have you guys do it tomorrow first thing.
So everything you gave us, we keep for notes and stuff.
Except for the do now, because I'm gonna have you add something to that.
Okay.
Alright.
What's the do now?
Every time you
Okay.
do it,
Give it to you in just a minute.
Do you want to write do now on so you always see this?
As long as it's at the top and the others at the bottom, and then I should be okay. Make sure your name's on it, because I would like to give you credit for it.
I have a question.
Yeah,
IT.
About
You're welcome.
when I sent you a text on my iPad, you had sent what Josh is. Is there another one in this class?
No, but I have 3 in my afternoon class. That's why I was like,
Okay, I was just wondering.
yes, I have 3 in my other class.
Okay.
Okay, so on the same sheet that you put your do now.
4 questions again?
Nope.
You learned 2 minutes?
Nope.
Oh, well, surprise, surprise.
So I need every part of speech used in 2 sentences.
What?
So I need an interjection, I need a conjunction, I need a noun, I need a verb. You don't have to use a proper noun and a pronoun and a regular noun. Just use a noun, a verb, adjective, adverb, conjunction, everything on this list, and preposition.
Okay, was there what order we did it in?
Nope, and an article. So everyone has to be on there in a sentence. So if you say, wow, the guy in the corner stood up. Wow.
Do you use this?
You can use this to look off of, but it has to include all of those parts of speech.
You say conjunction, a verb
Has to have every one of these.
over one of these?
Yep. But you don't have to have a proper noun and a pronoun and a regular noun. Just one noun.
Hold up. Which one do you use?
So that sheet that I just gave you with all of the parts of speech, yep, that one right there. You have to have one of each of those things. And of course, you're gonna be able to put them into a sentence or two. At least 2 sentences. So you may have one sentence that has an interjection, but then it doesn't work out. Together's fine. Or the separate is fine too.
Do I do each one separate?
Nope. So an example of this. Wow. And do not use this one. The guy is mean. I have my interjection. I have my article. I have my noun,
The first sentence is
verb,
falls in.
and mean is describing the guy, so I have my adjective. And then I would have another sentence with the other components.
What is was? Oh, never mind.
So once you guys are done with this, you'll turn this in, and I will see you tomorrow.